No. Because Mackinaw's the bypass road. And 7 miles of primary.
For 8 months, you're saying that I'm lying.
For 8 months, I'm saying nobody's lying to me. Nobody's telling me what's going on. No, there's no indication of whether it's being repaired or not being repaired, what the timeline would be. I did go back in November and appeared before the board and asked the board at that time that they help us repair that road. But there's no response because you're the one that's up there talking. There's no response from somebody like yourself at that meeting.
The township isn't going to repair it. So for us to vote that we are going to repair it, we have an agreement with the road commission that if the sides of the road they fix them on all the chip and seal roads. And believe me, that's not the only one that's had a little problem in the last couple of years with the road grader way down. But
if you call the road commission and ask them about Fraser Road, they're going to tell you to call the county.
yeah, and I'm telling you what they're telling me, and we're going to get done. So if you want a letter from the road commission on what they plan on doing,
Well, you're the one that communicates with the road commission.
I do. And I'm telling you what they're communicating with me, that you are basically calling me a liar. Well, you don't believe me, but you gotta have something from the road commission to prove it.
The point he's trying to make is some communication.
This is not.
Maybe you should
Put
a small article in the newspaper saying,
Everybody here gets the FinCon in general.
Communication.
That's the only newspaper.
So,
Read the newspaper.
noted.
communication.
Noted, and Sam has the update from the road commission when the temperature hits, that's going to get done, and so.
I'll get a letter and we'll have it at the main meeting and we'll make it part of the minutes.
Just so that there's a paper trail. So.
No, that's basically what he was getting at, is that part of the minutes to where every time we get here per month, we can discuss it and see where the progress is. Nobody's calling anybody a liar. He just wants proof that something's being done and moving forward.
Yeah.
We all want proof.
That's no
It's
problem.
documented.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had a question about the water problem. Has that been prominent since 2020, since the flooding?
That's been
Has it
prominent.
been longer than that? I'm new to the
That's been
neighborhood.
prominent since
10
I
years
think I
ago.
was a kid.
I know for
My
30
school
It's
bus
been a
used
lot
to go down
worse.
that road when Marty Preem lived in that house.
Excuse me, about 30 years. I've lived out there 30 years, and it's been a problem ever since I have been there, almost the same extent. Some years are worse than others. Back 3 or 4 years ago, when we had the high water, we had water halfway out the lines adjoining the marsh in the 700s of South Linwood. The water was halfway to the road, taking up almost the whole line. So it's always been there. It's been there since I've been there. I know that for 30 years.
So yes, Brian, long-term issue.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I see it.
I'd like to get back to the Linwood Beach.
Yes.
I know the question came up was there any other engineers quoted, basically? I will stand up in front of everybody right here tonight and tell you that Spicer Engineering is one of the best, if not the best, drainage engineers in our area. I've worked with them myself personally many times, and every county in this area has major projects working with Spicer. If you do get bids from anybody else or look at anybody else, I would strongly recommend you get references.
I got a question on the column drainage from Fraser and going towards Beaver, the Beaver area. It is so blocked up with dead trees and beaver and whatever's holding that water back. But it's
Fall River is a natural water course and it is under Eagle jurisdiction.
under what?
Eagle, environmental,
Can't touch it.
It's the state.
I cannot go in and touch it, I don't have any right.
The only way that gets cleaned is the people that own the land get permits from the state and do it themselves.
The north,
The north branch of the Cook
it's on Fraser Road, it goes under a little bridge and heads out, and it goes up into the bay, yeah.
That is still considered a
Trees
natural
are all
water
on
course.
it.
If a person went in there with a boat and cut the dams out and things like that, is that legal to do?
If you own it. We don't own the water.
On a county drain, all trees belong to the landowner.
Well,
You have
that's
trees in the
if-
county drain falling in, they're your trees, it doesn't.
But it's between, like, Mackinac and in that area back in there, and it is all flooded, and it's even backing up into people's backyards and everything else, and it's just not draining out. So, I was just,
Basically, you
I
have to
thought
go to the
about,
Bay City office in Eagle and make a complaint. We have, the Drain Commission has in certain times went back in and cut trees out and removed some of that so we could get flow on our county drains. But we can't do it without Eagle's permission.
Because all the rain from the north, when it storms up.
Oh, yeah.
comes
So-
down there. Yeah,
so I'd have to get permission to go in there and cut.
not on your part, you wouldn't.
Well, no, but I mean, it's not.
Or
in my
anybody
part
else's
that's
property, you
fucked up.
would have to get permission from that property owner also.
So when we can, you'll have a chance afterward, you can talk to Mike about that. So I guess if we accomplish nothing else, we did accomplish that Nick's telling us exactly what we're going to get for those dollars, which we did not know in the beginning. I didn't know. I had no record that I'd have a survey or elevation or any of that. So that would help us then to be able to justify to get that part of it done, yes.
Charles and Sam, can you assure us that at the next meeting, Spicer's proposal will be on the agenda so we can vote up or down?
I think it is on
the last meeting.
Is it?
Yeah.
the last meeting, there was a misnomer though, because it stated a sewer project.
To be more specific, at the last meeting, board members were not provided with this agreement that was dated February 1st, 24. We were given a printed paper that said $47,000 to draw plans for the sewer. It came out of somebody's printer. It had nothing to do with this agreement from Spicer, so therefore it would be pretty irresponsible to approve that based on a piece of paper.
And that's why we called the meeting, so that, one, we can hear what you're saying and what they're saying, so we can then move this along and accomplish this task. So
And
that,
that meeting's the 12th?
it's a week from today.
Yeah, 13.
Yes, sir.
As far as like approvals, you mentioned Eagle and possibly Army Corps of Engineers. Does it, I had learned just during our last meeting that we had, that this also it's up to their discretion, but this can also impact another federal agency, the post office, being able to deliver services. So if they have the right to be able to stop, to say, hey, this road is covered with water, we don't have to go and fulfill our services and responsibilities to you. I mean, I don't blame them, I guess, that's part of their safety too. But I mean, does that help with any approvals or fast forwarding, or does it put,
That's a Nick
does it
question.
put some of the spending approval beyond the township or the county if it impacts government, federal agencies?
Not that I've ever seen. I've had projects before where we're trying to get Eagle approval, and like we need to move the drainage ditch over 10 feet to get the road wider because we've had too many accidents. We've had serious injuries, and the feedback that I've gotten from Eagle is that we don't consider public safety when evaluating the level of environmental impacts that you're proposing. So it's just not on the radar. They're looking at how you're impacting the environment. They don't really care about other things that is what it is.
Does the state or somebody else though care if it impacts a federal agency from, being able to do their job? Does it help with the funding? Or is it all going to be put, on local taxpayers?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any type of, additional funding or anything like that from mail trucks, just because, I mean, there's lots of, 2-track dirt roads all over rural Michigan that, struggle to get mail when it gets too wet out.
Yeah, I would think their answer would probably say everybody put their mailboxes all in a row in a high spot so the guy can get to it. It's probably what they would recommend, I guess.
A hand.
Hi. Hi, so first I just want to also say thank you for coming out and spending your Monday evening with us. Appreciate that a lot. Second, I was going to ask, should the Cook County Township agree to go forward with Stryker, how are you guys for timing? I mean, do you have any idea how long a project like this would take to get an estimate out on, the varying ways of taking care of a problem?
No, I mean, depending, so, so we get the agreement signed and say, yes, we're hiring you, and then we get it on the schedule of our survey crew, and depending at what time of year it is and how busy they are, sometimes they're out there surveying it in, 3 or 4 days, sometimes they're out there surveying in 3 or 4 weeks, just all depends on the timing of it. Obviously, we're moving out of the spring, we're getting into the summer, that's when all the highways go under construction, all the roads go under construction, and so things are a little busier, but after we get it surveyed, I would say that you're probably looking at May now, you're probably looking at late summer, early fall to get your set of plans and your permit, or not your permit, excuse me, your cost estimate and through a bulk of engineering study. But it's all contingent on getting we get the approval, we get it on our schedule, and we start going, right? So.
Right. Well, I know everybody's busy right now, but I wasn't sure, if you guys do have so many projects already in the queue, where we would rank in getting this project.
No, it wouldn't be a problem. I mean, I got, we can get it done in the summer if, we get approval right away. Obviously, if approval comes 2 or 3 months from now, then that's everything excellent.
At the last board meeting, I think South Linwood Beach was on the unfinished business. So at this next board meeting, will it be on unfinished business, and will this be voted on?
I think us approving or disapproving the money for the survey, elevation, that will be on this next agenda next week. We table it until the town hall.
And until we actually saw documentation.
So at this point, then, now we know what they're going to do. We had no idea. I'm not putting in a toilet drain, I'm putting in a water drain. There's a big difference. That's the whole thing why all 4 of us were like, well, let's hear what the people got to say and make sure what Spicer's saying. Now we all know what Spicer is saying.
And we have the opportunity to actually get a copy of the contract, so we can see it.
So that will help you folks understand where the township is at our next meeting. For approval or disapproval, because we can't make any official decisions here tonight because it's a town hall. But next Monday, this can be on the agenda because the deadline's Wednesday, so we have that time to make sure that happens. They've made it clear just what we're paying for, because it's a lot easier to spend $43,000 if you know where it's going, right? And we wouldn't be doing due diligence on your part if we didn't ask those questions.
Thank you for doing that.
That's important.
So are you saying that it can get on the agenda for next week so that there can be a vote by the board next week so that we can actually maybe see some progress here?
That's my understanding, Monday night.
It should be not moving.
It would be under old business for the approval of,
Not at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that was my concern.
Brian?
I appreciate you guys catching the sewer thing, but who ordered the original quote for the survey? You guys didn't know anything about it.
Well, I believe it was, you guys had come in and it had been promised.
We
was it
came
a
in
year?
like 2 years ago, I
2
think.
years ago. And so there.
But it's been
So
on
who
the
called
agenda
Spicer
longer
to
than
get the
that.
original 43 with the sewer?
I imagine that was probably
Actually,
Sam.
the amount that was in our packet
Yeah.
last month was $47,000.
I just wondered who said, hey Spicer, this is so-and-so,
If
we get this
you
going.
listen
Yeah.
to the minutes of the March meeting, I spoke of it then, that they were speaking of 40, well, I
So
thought
Sam called.
47,000.
Thank you.
You bet.
I thought it was 47,000. At the March meeting, I did speak of it, and that's also where I had the verbal on the $750,000 was a raw estimate. So, we've talked about this at the meetings since March.
And so I would love to get a copy of that agreement from February 1st so that we as board members could actually read it ourselves.
He's raising his hand.
Joel?
I'm probably jumping ahead, but where's the money coming from? And pick your number out, $750,000, $1 million, I can see more than that. Who's paying for it? How are we paying for it?
Well, until we get a cost, we can't actually decide who's gonna pay for it.
When you folks did my drainage next to me, you guys calculated who benefited. I think I talked to you years ago, and whoever was using that drain is who ended up paying for it. Is that possible? Is that how this works?
Possibility.
Okay.
Yeah, but we don't have no idea what it is, so.
Well, I said it's $1 million if we have to go under the
Yeah,
road.
yeah, I can see it easily, there'd be a bunch of things.
We've taken a look at it, I think it can be remedied, I don't know if we can go all the way along the edge, I don't know exactly where the sewer line runs, because there's a 12-inch sewer line runs down through there that comes from Linwood and up in County.
You might have to go under somebody's garage or something.
Well, this you're coming down, let's say we come down the west side of the road. I know that some of you houses have cement all the way out to the road. So if that has to be cut, that would be in the bid to fix. It's not going to be gravel.
Well,
I
no,
thought
I
that
just-
you couldn't,
I'm not worried
no.
about what's getting.
I'm a homeowner there, and it's my understanding that we're not allowed to put cement over any of those utilities. That we can
But
only
I'm
put,
saying if we have to cut the cement, to put the utility in, we would put the cement back.
right, but it's our understanding at our end that you can't put cement because it won't be paid. The township won't repair it.
The road commission said that the final over the roadway easement had to be asphalt at one time.
Yeah,
Because that just happened over here where Jose bends around, is that 4 Mile?
if somebody's put concrete, that's their responsibility. They shouldn't have done it. If it, I mean, why would the township pay for, nobody at our end has concrete.
So who paid for the last drain that got put in on the other end of the road?
That was when the road was under the county, so the county was like.
Is South Linwood Beach private or public?
It's a public road, but it's a dead end. It's not the section that was originally done from Cottage Grove, Labordi to Bowtell is because you had to have a route out of the village. So that's when those upgrades were taking place.
I'm going to be perfectly honest with all of you. I, to this day, do not know how your previous supervisor got South Linwood Beach Road to be a primary road of the county. Every village has to have 2 primary road exits. And I've only been here 70 years, but for 40 of those years, or 50 of them, Elevator Road to Labordi's out to M13 was the primary road. Someplace along the line, and nobody will talk about it, but South Linwood Beach got to be the primary road. Believe it or not, Bowtown Road to M13 is a primary road, still is. And about 2 years ago, the county decided that they didn't want South Linwood Beach in between Labordes and Bowtel, so they gave it back to us. And now the primary road out of Linwood is elevator to Labordes.
So the cost gets dumped back on us, the township?
Well, before they handed it over, they did the drainage.
All work was
and the
done.
road. So, and then they handed it over.
And I don't live on South Linwood Road, but I drove down it today, and because I was like, okay.
The problem is that the end past Boutel was never part, so we got,
It's a dead
our
end.
part between Boutel and Laborde got done by the county, but the other end didn't get any work done at all.
Okay.
So now you're township. Now-
Now we're township,
Yeah,
yes.
so the cost is gonna have to get spread. That's where I'm asking, am I gonna, I don't live there. Am I gonna be paying for it?
We're paying drainage in our taxes forever. If you look at our tax bill, we've been paying drainage for as long as we lived there. We've never had one, so that's the other side of the issue.
Well, I do think we accomplished a couple things tonight. Hopefully you feel that way. And it will make it easier Monday night, because I believe your voices were well heard, so we can see what we can do to get, so they can put together what we need, so that we can know the rest of this story, what it will take. And then we can try and figure out how to accomplish that goal.
And we hope to see you guys at that meeting. We always like, when the citizens are there.
Yeah, thanks for doing that. Appreciate it too.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you all so much, and always feel free to get in touch with us. If you have any questions, we're always available. Thank you so much, sponsor.